My husband wakes up early, earlier than anyone else in the household, before the city outside our windows has fully started, before the buses and the trucks have found their rhythm on the street below. He gets up quietly, comes to the living room, sits on the couch. Rosco is already there, or he gets there within moments, not urgently, not summoned, just arriving the way he arrives at things that matter to him. He settles beside my husband, not necessarily touching, just present. The two of them sit in the quiet of the early morning, while my husband prays and Rosco stays, not asking for anything, not performing, just there, in the stillness, in the lowest stimulus version of the day, with the one person in the household he has chosen most completely for physical closeness. I have thought about this ritual a lot, about why Rosco gravitates to my husband in this particular way, when my husband is not the one who feeds him or walks him or manages his days. The answer, I think, is sensory. My husband is still. He is physically calm in a way that communicates itself without words. In a household that can be loud and unpredictable and full of competing nervous systems, he is the person whose body says, "Nothing is about to happen. It is safe to rest here." That is not a small thing for a dog whose nervous system is always, on some level, braced for what comes next. This is Under the Same Roof. I'm Jennyfer Tan, professional dog trainer and certified family dog mediator, and this is episode 15. This episode has been building across the whole season, really, all the way back to episode 9, when we first started understanding who each member of this household is and what they carry. Today, I want to make explicit something that has been implicit in almost everything we've covered. Sensory profiles, your child's and your dog's, where they clash, where they align, and what happens when you put them side by side and actually look at them together. Because sometimes the friction in a household isn't about behavior at all. It's about two nervous systems responding to the same environment in ways that were never going to be compatible without some deliberate understanding of what each of them is actually experiencing. My son is sensitive to sound, but not all sound equally. That distinction matters. Crowd noise overwhelms him, the layered, unpredictable, uncontrollable roar of many voices in a space. Jarring, sudden sounds are difficult, overwhelming visual environments. Too much light, too much visual stimulation cost him something real. What is interesting is what doesn't bother him. We live on a busy Vancouver street, trucks, buses, cars, a constant undertow of traffic noise that most visitors mention within 5 minutes of arriving. My son barely registers it now, partly because he has grown up with it, but partly, I think, because it is consistent and predictable. It has a rhythm, a texture, a quality of constancy that his nervous system has learned to file away rather than process as signal. He now works at an auto shop, surrounded by engines and tools and the specific sounds of mechanical work. He is entirely comfortable there. The sounds that flatten him are the ones he cannot anticipate or control, the ones that arrive without warning, without pattern, without anything to brace against. To manage those, he uses music, headphones, a layer of chosen sound that covers rather than competes, rain sounds at night to help him fall asleep, and touch, soft things, plushies and pillows, the physical regulation that familiar texture provides. He loves to hug. He loves soft things against his skin. The input of touch regulates him in a way that is visible and consistent, and always on his own terms. Rosco's sensory profile is built around vigilance. Sudden sounds are his most reliable trigger, not sustained noise, which he can habituate to over time, but the unexpected spike, the thing that arrives without warning. Sudden movement registers similarly. The world for Rosco is full of signals that could mean something, and his nervous system treats all of them as potentially meaningful until proven otherwise. Inside the household, he has calibrated over years. He knows our sounds, our movements, our rhythms. He knows the difference between a door closing routinely and a door closing with urgency. He reads us constantly, not just our behavior, but our emotional weather, the quality of the air in the room, the subtle things that precede a change in the household's tone. For touch, Rosco is comfortable with contact from the people he trusts. He will stay for it, lean into it, but he is clear about his limits. A low growl that means, "I'm done now, please." A shift of his body away from the hand. He is not ambiguous about this, and we have learned to read it and stop. That matters for the trust between us. His closest physical relationship is with my husband. The early morning couch, the stillness, my husband's body communicates safety in a register that Rosco's nervous system receives clearly. That is a sensory fact as much as an emotional one. Ray is almost the sensory opposite of Rosco inside the household. He does not startle. He does not track ambient sounds with Rosco's vigilance. When we vacuum, when we move furniture, when the household is loud and physically disruptive, Ray has to be asked to move. Sometimes more than once. The sensory information that keeps Rosco's nervous system busy simply does not register the same way for Ray. Outside is a different story. Motorcycles, bicycles, anything with small wheels, not cars, which are too large and too predictable, but the smaller, faster, darting things. Birds, moving creatures he can track with his eyes and his whole body. His genetics as a former street dog, as a Korean village dog, are written clearly in this profile. He was built to track, to monitor, to be alert to smaller, faster movement in the environment. Inside the household, that drive has nowhere obvious to go. Outside, it activates fully. For touch, Ray is unambiguous. He seeks me specifically, and will make his preferences known if contact stops before he's ready. Velcro, in the most literal sense. Finding his regulation in physical proximity to one person, content to be touched, and to touch in return for as long as the interaction continues. The places of obvious friction are easy to see once you know to look. But what I find more useful and more surprising are the places of accidental alignment. My son and Rosco both live most comfortably inside predictable sensory environments. The traffic outside is fine, and because it is constant and expected. The smoke alarm is not fine because it is sudden and uncontrollable. Both of them do better when the household has a rhythm they can anticipate. Both of them carry the cost of unpredictability in their bodies. This is not a coincidence. It is two nervous systems with similar sensory thresholds, sharing the same space, and finding, without planning it, that they understand something about each other. My son and Ray share something different. Both of them regulate through touch. My son through soft textures and the comfort of things he can hold or press against. Ray through physical contact with his person. Neither of them seeking quiet or distance. Both of them seeking something to hold on to. And my husband and Rosco share a sensory compatibility that nobody designed. My husband's physical stillness, his early morning quiet, the particular quality of his presence. That is exactly what Rosco's vigilant nervous system most needs. They found each other not through effort, but through fit, sensory fit, before anything else. A couple of years after Rosco came to live with us, I found myself naming the relationships he had built with each member of the family. I am his manager, the one who holds the structure of his days, makes everything function, keeps the routine intact. My daughter is his playmate. Uncomplicated joy, a relationship that asks nothing difficult of either of them. My husband is his emotional bond, the stillness, the ritual, the deep physical comfort of the early morning couch. And Daniel is his mirror. That last one took me the longest to name. Daniel is Roscoe's mirror because they are built similarly. Both of them are genuinely, remarkably smart, in ways that can be easy to underestimate because the intelligence expresses itself in particular channels, rather than broadly. Both of them need routine and predictability to function well. Both of them struggle with the nuances of social navigation, the unwritten rules, the implied expectations, the things most beings figure out automatically that both of them have to learn consciously and explicitly. Daniel is like the human Rosco, and Rosco is the dog Daniel. That recognition took years to arrive. It assembled itself from 100 small observations, none of which I was consciously cataloging until one day it was simply there, undeniable, obvious in retrospect. Two beings who experienced the world at the same frequency, who took a long time to find their way to each other, who have arrived, quietly and without announcement, at something that doesn't require explanation between them. I don't need to name it to either of them. It's already there. Next episode is the last of Season 2, and it's the one I've been thinking about the longest, and in some ways dreading the most, because it's the one nobody wants to make. What happens when it's not working? When the dog and the household are genuinely not compatible? When the welfare of the dog is being chronically compromised and the most compassionate thing is to acknowledge it? I'm not going to tell you that rehoming is failure. I'm going to tell you what it actually is, what it requires, and how to know when you're there. I'm Jennyfer Tan. This is Under the Same Roof. Understanding before strategies, always.